Plasma, oxygen, interdimensional relay units, plasma coolant, hydrofusion modules. Yes! Huh? I can rearrange them. Oh dear. Oh! Ah! Son of a... The name is Muto.
What's up everybody, it's me, Retrovent, and we're at another review. This time, we're going to be reviewing Dr. Muto for the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and GameCube. And this game is very interesting because it's also very obscure and there's not really that many reviews of it. So I thought, you know what? I finished the game like a couple months ago, so that'd be a cool game to review. Without further ado though, let's get on with the story and whatnot. Dr. Muto's story is interesting in the fact that he actually gets the chance to make this machine, basically, that would better the world. It would give them renewable energy. But, sadly for him, the thing goes awry and destroys his whole fucking planet. So basically, yeah, everybody died except for him and his lab specifically. Also, one thing to note, it's called Planet Midway. Little clever thing, it's named after the developers. But yeah, after that happens, there's this one guy, like, with his little cigar, and he's like, he's like laughing about it, basically, and, you know, then it kind of cuts to Dr. Muto waking up and now realizing what's happening, and that's kind of where the story gets onto it and everything. There's not really too much to the story, there's no, like, major twist, except for you fight the one guy that did it. Basically, Dr. Muto goes to all these worlds, he gets all these different mutant powers and all that, and after he gets them, he basically fights the different bosses. It's a good concept, and, you know, again, it's not a crazy story, but it's a story that gets you on your way, because basically, now you have to recover all the parts from that machine that you made, so that you could rebuild the planet now and, you know, not fuck up everybody. Oh yeah, one quick thing to note, the loading screen is really cool. I love that he's like doing like these weird animations in the loading screen. I like that a lot. Also, the game does have a lot of cheats, but you know, they're your basic cheats that you'd be used to. The ones that really stand out are the ones that just let you skip levels. I shit you not. But I've never used them, because I don't see a point to just skipping the game. The gameplay in Dr. Muto is pretty okay as well. Dr. Muto himself, when you're just playing as him, plays pretty okay. The mouse has some very nice, fun, and smooth gameplay. Sadly, you mainly use him like when you go into small crevices, though, so he doesn't have much of a use. But it's a cool feature. He also gets various different gadgets like jetpacks, weaponry, and other morphs. Some not so good. Like, they have this monkey one that, I'll be honest, I'm not too big of a fan of, because swinging on the tight ropes is, it's really stiff to control, and it kind of fucks things up for me. Most of them are pretty good. The fish one is also bad, sadly, but aside from the fish one and the gorilla one, most of them are pretty good. I like the, flying squirrel one as well. It was fun flying around in the, Jupiter City level with it. I gotta say, my favorite character in it is probably Al. He's sarcastic and he's like a little dickhead all the time, and it's funny. Like, he's so rude to him. He's like, "I'm sorry, doctor, I can't do that." And he just says it in such a monotone voice. Character-wise, there's not much aside from that and Dr. Muto. There's like this one mutant experiment that like wakes him up and he's like, "Doctor, look!" But that's the only time he appears in it. From what I learned, he was supposed to have a larger role in the game, but they never really did anything with him, sadly. I will say the environments of Dr. Muto, my issue with that is their environments kind of feel... like, there's different planets and there's different things going on, but I feel like it has to do with the really grainy graphics, where a lot of it just looks samey, at least to me. It's not a deal breaker. Like, there's some differences. Like, there's like a lagoon level where you get to go through that. So there's like light differences, but it feels like the worlds as a whole just have like that same sort of grainy look. And I don't know if that's like an early 2000s thing, but it just made the levels feel like they didn't have a crazy variety. One area I did think was cool was specifically the hub world. It was just so interesting, and it had a ton of little details in it that really added to it. The bosses are pretty shitty, though, because it feels like their patterns are really hard to figure out. And, you know, I suffered, like, right on the first boss, even. They're not, like, all bad, but, like, they got one underwater, and they got one where you gotta shoot one with the turret, and it's not very good. It just feels stiff, and just, it shouldn't really be there, at least in my opinion. Bernatol is a pretty fun boss still, though, because, his actually utilized the spider morph, which is another pretty good one. You could shoot bombs out of that, so that was pretty epic. But basically with Bernatol, that made him different from the other bosses, is you could, like, swing your webs, and you had to, like, go from place to place and shoot at him. It's very tactical, and it was very fun to go through. You know, I gotta say, the most standout thing about the game is definitely the soundtrack. It is so freaking good. I love the electronic feel it has. Why don't you give a few a listen? Overall, I'd say Dr. Muto is an okay game. It's not an underrated masterpiece like it could have been, but it's got some charm to it, and I like it for what it is. It did okay, but it has some things that kind of push it down for me. Anyways, though, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have yourselves a good one, and I'm out. Peace.